Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiah Shai Bashemar Rakak Radash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught me what I know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai and Yahweh Bashmiah Shai Brakatham, to the 144,000 and including the 1/3. All right. And just want to make this real brief, right? In saying that these guys made a show out of themselves. And the reason why that is the case, of course, because these dudes are not studied at all. They're inexperienced men. And just to be honest as well, vocab alone has been putting in a lot of work in regards to researching the Israelites more longer than these guys have been on the street. All right, let's just put that in perspective. And that's the reason why vocab alone did what he did to these dudes. But you see, had these guys learned unto us, men that have been in this truth longer than vocab alone has been doing his shit, then this would have never happened, you see. Because you see, Jake has a problem with ego and pride. They don't want to come under other men for the sake of teaching them. But rather, they figure, well, I learned a few of the precepts, so now I can take action the same way you're taking action. But no, bro, you're inexperienced. So if you go out there with inexperiences to something that you're about to get into, guess what's going to be had? You're going to make a fool out of your damn selves. That's why this reads in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. If these dudes understood that pride is not the way, being egotistical is not the way, they would have came on the great millstone. A lot of men would have came on the great millstone and learned properly the scriptures. But no, certain men want to go out and do their own thing, and this is what doing your own thing leads to. Again, someone coming around and making a mock out of you right in the middle of the street. All right, especially in the eyes of those that know this truth. Okay. This situation could have been handled differently. Now, if vocab alone would have came up to us, I'm telling you, I know for certainty, this right here would have never been had. Okay, what would have been had was what was had with y'all. And I'm talking about you guys calling yourselves Wake Up Israel. What vocab alone did to y'all, we would have did to him. And it would have been very bad for him. Okay. Because we're experienced men. We've learned from other men. And plus, we're serious minded with this truth. We don't play with this thing. And another thing, too, that I want to say as well is that you have a lot of these newer guys that are coming in this thing inexperienced. And they're using the truth now with the little knowledge that they do have of gaining popularity, whether it's through Instagram or whether it's through Facebook or whatever it is. They're using this truth so that they can basically glorify themselves, looking for that corruptible crown, so to speak. So you got that kind of spirit out there as well. But you see us, when we came in this truth, we've learned under serious-minded men. So much so that it got addicting learning the precepts from the men that we came up under. All right. Some of us, it took a year. Some of us, it took maybe 5 to 8 months to learn the precepts. Some of us, it took 2 years. Okay. So however long it took for us to comprehend what we was involved in, then we joined the camp. Then that became an experience in itself. And now we're fully set in our way to be teachers. Because we've did all of the work. We've invested all of the time in the work to be where we're at right now. But you see, again, certain men, they want to learn something real quick and fast and don't want to be patient about things. And they want to just jump in certain things that they don't really understand. All right. Once again, a wise man will hear and learn. Let me read that precept in Proverbs 1 now. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. Exactly. So that's what we did. So whenever someone like vocab alone comes up, this won't be had, bro. I'm telling you. Let's just say if some other guy came up like vocab alone, like, let me think of a name of an individual. Some other Christian evangelical guy that's out there now, right? And he's got this white mustache and he's got all of his beard shaved off. I forgot the guy's name. But let's just say he visited London and he happened to find our camp. Bro, we're going to have that guy looking silly in the street. And he's supposed to be a so-called scholar. Why? Because, for one, we did the work. Number two, we don't take this thing as a joke. We never did. And what trumps above all of those things that I've said is the fact that Yahweh Shai is dealing with the great millstone. And that's going to rub certain people the wrong way, me saying that. Because some people may think I'm bragging and boasting because I'm saying it from an egotistical standpoint. No, I'm not. I'm saying it from a true standpoint. This ain't got nothing to do with my ego. It's just the truth. So if you learned under us, again, this bullshit would have never been had, man. Ephesians 6 now, in verse 11, which is the point. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. How do you put on the whole armor? What scripture should come to mind? Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, where it reads, which was commanded by the Lord to Ezekiel, which was commanded of the Lord towards Ezekiel to eat the whole roll. What does that mean, eat the whole roll? Meaning to learn all of what I'm telling you. In other words, for us, is to learn all of the scriptures and then go teach the whole house of Israel. Okay? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Before we take action, we're supposed to learn these precepts, man. So no demon can come up and trick you. Because see, y'all have the truth and everything, right? You brothers are teaching out there in London somewhere. I don't really know where you guys are teaching at. And I don't know you guys anyway, right? But at the end of the day, you individuals, you have the Bible in your hand. You're speaking what you know of the truth. And because you don't know the truth all the way, some guys come along the way to show that you don't really fully know what you're talking about. And that's just a terrible look to y'all. All right. So that's just that, man. So if you were to learn from the real teachers, as this reads, Isaiah 30 and verse 20, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the waters of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. So there it is. So the teachers are right before you. So there's no excuse for a guy that's inexperienced to take action. All you got to do is come under the men that are already set before you, learn, go through the ropes that it takes, and then you can then teach later. All right. So this is what happens when you're egotistical and pride dominates your mind. That's why this shit's happened, man, because you guys are proud. And when you really understand most of these Israelites, these guys is newly coming in right now. And before I say before I go even where I'm about to go, I'm going to say this too, right? I have to be balanced. You know, it's a beautiful thing to see that you have new brothers coming in this truth. Call Allah, Palayim Allah, Yahweh Bashmel Shai, right? Because what it shows is that the truth is gaining so much fruit. And that's a beautiful thing. So now I'm going to say what I'm going to say. A lot of these guys that are newly coming in this thing, they don't acknowledge, and this is just what I feel. I feel as though they don't acknowledge the men that came before them. They haven't learned under the men that came before them, and they don't really give reverence for where they got this truth from. They think, a lot of these guys think they learned this thing by themselves, and the Lord was with them in the room, you know, and directing them towards the pages of the scriptures and giving them the divine inspiration and all of this nonsense. When in fact, they learned this from other men. Okay. So, you know, expect something like this to be had, man, with these other camps out here, because these guys are not really in the spirit of the Lord. And that's another thing too. There's so many things I could really put into this as the reason why this went down the way it went down, because the Lord ain't really dealing with these guys like that. because they haven't came in this thing correctly, you know. And there's so many videos that I can make just off of this one video. And Lord willing, I'll do it in the future. So with that, that's all I got to say on this. I want to give all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shemel Shai B'Shem Harakah Quadash. And Yahweh Shemel Shai Brakatham to all of the sincere believers of the 144,000 and as well as the 1/3 too. Shalom.